Hi there, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp, and today I've got some under the sea stenciled and inlay background cards to share with you. Sometimes the real star of the show can be the background, and it makes all the difference. In this case, the wave stenciled background in two colors of Distress Oxide ink with the little background fishes, and then some great stamping or die cutting or both for the greeting, and then the cute little animals in the forefront finish off the card. But while they still are kind of the central theme and focal point of the card, the background is really what makes them shine. So today I'm going to create this whole set of cards. These cards were created, 4 of them were for the graduating seniors for my daughter's swim team, and then 2 of them were for our coaches for the banquet we had here that we're going to have here pretty soon. And so I did all of these ahead of time so that I would have them ready to go. I knew that we wanted to have some cards that the girls could write messages to the graduating seniors and also thank their coaches for the season. I am starting my cards I've trimmed down some Neenah smooth white cardstock. So this isn't a specialty cardstock. This is just regular Neenah heavyweight cardstock to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. And then I'm taking the Waves stencil, which was released a while ago from Simon Says Stamp. It is not new. In fact, mine is very well loved. I have used it multiple times, but it continues to be one of my go-to for creating an underwater ocean scene. I inked up the bottom maybe 1/3 with Blueprint Sketch, and then the top 2/3 with Salty Ocean. After I stenciled them, I inked over them lightly with those ink blending tools and then spritzed the whole thing with water from a distress sprayer and set them aside to air dry. I did not hit them with a heat tool. I went ahead and just let them completely air dry. All 6 backgrounds are created the same. The magic is that when you look at those backgrounds, it looks like kind of water or an underwater bubbles, and it's fantastic. You don't have to add anything additional to have bubbles. Then I'm stamping my 2 images that I'm going to be using from the new, well, I guess it's from one release back, Under the Sea Animals stamp set, and I am simply using some paper here to die cut, or pardon me, stamp these with some jet black ink. I'm going to do Copic coloring. I saved my coloring for the end of the project. Next, I am stamping some little fish here. These are from an also previously released stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, Best Fishes. This is to give the illusion of depth and dimension in the pool. I'm just using a VersaFine black ink, and I'm going to do this on all of the backgrounds. In fact, you can see that I have stamped a greeting on the background here. This coach greeting comes from, let me give you the exact name of this, Your Next Stamp Company Sports Fanatic 2 stamp set. And it really works for any sport, which is why I liked it. The Keep on Swimming was stamped directly from the Under the Sea Animals stamp set, and we're going to put a die cut greeting on those. Those were for the actual members of the swim team. And I'm using my dies as a guide, so I kind of know where I wanted my critters to go, so I know where to stamp my fish. Now on one of these, I accidentally smudged I had black ink on my finger and I didn't realize it. It's this one here. So I'm going to have to be a little bit more strategic with where I place my fish so I can cover that up. The next thing I want to talk about with these card designs is I'm going to do an inlay. And I love inlays. In fact, I've got some inlays coming up soon. With the June Simon Says Stamp card kit that are similar, but this is going to use a different die. Those are all using a Simon Says Stamp frame die. This is a die that is from Mama Elephant called Dotted Detail, and it has also been out for a while. It's this really thin frame, but the fantastic thing about it is it actually gives these little dotted detail around the frame. It's still a very skinny frame. You'll see it over there on the left side of the screen. It's a super teeny tiny thin frame. I have found it's a little tricky to die cut with a manual die cutting machine. I've had to go back and forth and back and forth. That was when it originally came out. I still had a Big Shot, and I had such a hard time die cutting it. The Spellbinders Platinum does a pretty good job, I'll tell you that, but I have found the machine that works the best, and I think it's all due to the even pressure all the way through, is the Gemini. So what I'm going to do is I did die cut a bunch of frames from white cardstock already, and then I'm going to take each of my backgrounds now that I've inked and stenciled and distress sprayed and stamped. I'm going to take my frame, put it in place, and run it through my Gemini die cutting machine. Now I did do this off camera. I kind of wish I had done one of them on camera. I'm sorry about that. But I ran it through and I'm going to pop this out. And what's amazing, one pass of that machine die cut this frame. So let's go ahead and put some adhesive all over the front of a top fold card base. The cards that have the Keep On Swimming, the ones for the swimmers, are all going to be top fold card bases. The ones for the coaches are going to be side fold, even though they are going to still be a portrait style card, and I'll show you why here in a minute. I'm going to start with my outer frame. I'm going to replace that little teeny tiny thin frame that I just die cut with this white die cut frame, and it's got that great white dotted detail all the way around. So super fun. And then replace the center just like that. It just breaks up the design of the background a little bit and instantly adds interest, instantly frames up your scene. So much fun. So I'm going to go wash my hands really quick because they are really inky. And I'm going to come back and show you, I went ahead and did all of the top fold ones. We're going to do a side fold now. And we're doing the side fold because I got gift cards for the coaches and I want to use a pop-up inside that holds the gift card, and it's just going to work much better this way, and I'll show you that here in a second. So just like the other design, we're going to die cut the frame from the background, and then we're just going to simply build it back. So starting with the outer frame first, then we'll do that skinny white frame with the dotted detail. Just pop that right down in place. Make sure it's butted up right next to the outer frame. And I just kind of go around and with my finger and smooth it out. And then the center frame. So easy and really one of my very, very favorite techniques. Okay, this is the Lawn Fawn pop-up or gift card pop-up. I want to say the right thing. And we're going to fold it in half and then score these two outer edges. This is going to fit in the seam of the card so that when the recipient opens it up, it's going to pop up with their gift card. So just giving a gift card here, this is great for any time you have a gift card to give. It's a little bit nicer presentation than either sticking it inside the envelope or whatever else. There's so many great options for adding gift cards, little slots and all kinds of dies. This is just one option, and I thought it would be really fun. I die cut it from some Moonstone Lawn Fawn cardstock here that I thought kind of matched the colors of the card. And I started to put adhesive all over inside of here, and I realized right away that that was not a good idea because the gift card actually has to fit down inside here. So let's just roll that up and kind of get rid of that real quick. But I like to put one side down, remove the backing paper. I am using 1/8 inch score tape along those sides. So there's my little gift card. And then I'm simply going to fold that over to secure it. So there is the little gift card pop-up. Next, I'm going to have some dimensional greetings. I originally did not think I would do a dimensional greeting with my die cut word Grad. This is the painted Grad die from Simon Says Stamp. But as always, I really like how it looks much better when it's popped up a little bit instead of flat to the card. So I had already die cut all of the Grad words from some aqua glitter cardstock. So what I did was stick an adhesive on both sides of a piece of fun foam and then run that through to get the Grad word again. I tried it both ways, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, it's easier if you take the backing paper off, put the word down on your project, pull the top of the backing paper off from the top part of the die cut greeting, and then place your die down. It's still a little tricky. I still would have preferred to have made my sandwich with the glitter cardstock, stick it, fun foam, and stick it, and then die cut it. But because I didn't, this worked really well. It's just an extra step. But definitely kind of do it in that order, because if you try to put it on before you put the die cut dimensional word onto your project, it's really tricky. Like I said, I tried it both ways and I thought that it worked better that way. Next, I'm coloring in my, I think this is a little whale. It looks like kind of like one. Maybe it's a fish. I don't really know. I just thought they were two cute little critters, and I'm going to color them in with Copic markers. Now, I did all of my coloring last. I knew this would be the time-consuming part, and I don't know. I just thought I would save it. I built this from the background up. So I did one set of these fish on camera, and then I'm going to turn the camera off and go color the rest of these. It really didn't take that long once I just sat down and did it. But this is something that you could definitely spread out over a little bit of time if you have done this enough in advance. For me, I did this a couple weeks in advance or whatever. And so I just kind of worked on the coloring as I could, and then I'm going to come back later and I'll put it all together, because really we only have adding the fish to the cards and the finishing touches, and these are going to be all ready to go. Once these are all colored in, I am going to go ahead and adhere them to my card. Now I went ahead and did one so you could see the total thing. All finished up, a little black gel pen for the eyes. We're going to let that completely dry and then go back and add the white highlights with the white pen. I also used the white pen to add white dots to the center of the eyes on the black fish. And I added some eyelashes to these fish with a fine tip black pen as well. So let me go color the rest of these and then we'll put the cards all together. And you can see how quick it is. And even though these fish are the focal point of the design, the work in putting together the background with the stenciling and the inking and the distress spraying and then stamping in those fish in the background, all of those little steps, the inlay frame, make this card so much more interesting than if you were to just do something, maybe not do that inlay frame, and you definitely don't have to. These are all just little tips and tricks that take your card from great to wow. And I'm a huge fan of scene cards. You guys probably already know this about me. So anytime I can find a great design that creates a fantastic scene easily, something that can be replicated over and over, I'm a big, big fan of that. We're just going to continue to add all these little white dots to the eyes. We'll add the eyelashes. But other than that, these cards are all finished. So the only thing left is to grab some coordinating envelopes, and I am going to use some coordinating envelopes from Simon Says Stamp to go with my cards. Add some handwritten greetings inside, and they're going to be all finished. Here's a look at all six of the finished cards. A couple of them are a little bit different than the other two as far as what's going on inside, but otherwise they are all the exact same design. Thanks for joining me today for these cards featuring under the sea animals from Simon Says Stamp. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos that you might be interested in. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll catch you next time.